When you see yourself, you gotta be yourself. What's up, everybody? It's February. Happy Black History Month. It is good to be here on the Props Network. Hi, I'm Joe Walkowski, and I am a professional gambler. Here are my daily NBA bets for a pretty abysmal day in New York City. It's a legendary amount of snow coming down. My fiance, the beautiful one, she's a very rigorous, type A, organized woman. This poor girl, she found a vaccine available. She's a frontline worker. She does public housing. She's up in Syracuse because she found a vaccine there she could get. She drove up yesterday, and now she's snowed in. So I'm stuck at home. Nobody's here. I'll see her again at the end of the week. I might be having to cover her work for her tomorrow, but that's okay. We've got a pretty good thing going here on the season. Whoops, I bumped my tripod. Size 15 feet will do that. On the year, we are 41-27. Yesterday, we went 2-1. I was really excited to watch that Nuggets Jazz game, and that was over immediately for what I can tell. And then Pacers, they blew a lead to the Sixers, sans Embiid, in the second half, in the fourth quarter, when I thought they were pretty safe with it. And then Toronto took care of Orlando easily. So it's a 2-1 slate. So let's talk about today's NBA and kind of a tough slate. You want to just bring up all the games so I could take a look there, Sammy? See if Lakers Hawks, that's a little bit intriguing. Hawks, do we have a full knowledge of how Chris Dunn and Rajon Rondo are doing defensively? I know they got a little bit more of their guys back, and they're playing some optimal lineups in Atlanta. But the game I really want to pay attention to is Hornets at Heat. This opened at Heat -5. It is Heat -6. And I'm still inclined to back Miami here because Jimmy Butler is back in the lineup. I know Tyler Herro is still in COVID protocol and struggling on the whole this year. It's not a surprise to see these Miami struggles. No team in NBA history has had as rigorous of a turnaround as Miami did. And granted, the Lakers had that same turnaround, but Miami's also getting Dragic back off injury. Lakers are buoyed in their rotation by adding pieces like Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell, Marc Gasol. So there's a lot of minutes per game coming into that rotation to mitigate the blow. And that's not the case in Miami. But is it possible the COVID protocol will help them get on a run? Because this team was not rested whatsoever. I was talking before the season in consideration for how many minutes Jimmy Butler's played over his career, how many minutes he played in particular last postseason, and his usage rate, whereas that Heat team, they were predicated on, we're going to beat you with the second unit. We're going to play tough D. We're going to hit threes. And then down the stretch, when we need a bucket, Jimmy Butler's going to get to the free throw line. That's winning playoff basketball. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think having Jimmy Butler away from basketball-related activities for 2 weeks might be a blessing in disguise. So against Charlotte, who is playing well, LaMelo Ball is coming off the best game of his career. I think Coach Borrego deserves a world of credit for the tough approach he took to Ball and making him earn the minutes. And that being said, we will probably see a lot of LaMelo tonight with Terry Rozier out of the lineup. And I'm going to go with Miami here. I like Miami -6 because their team defense has been awful. And that's what the Heat hang their culture on. They hang their basketball on there. And I think Charlotte's a good team to incorporate against. Terry Rozier, they had a great win against Milwaukee on, I think it was Friday or Saturday night. I haven't left the house, so the days kind of blur together. Since that game could have been last March, and I wouldn't know the difference. But he's out with a sprained ankle, and now you have a lot of ball handlers in that Hornets lineup, and just taking away Rozier kind of just put some weird flow in that offense against a team that's going to be trying to set their defensive identity. I think so. I think you can go for that. And We talked about teams that have an answer for Bam Adebayo. I don't see that Charlotte does, so I like Miami here. Maybe there's a chance Charlotte gets it going with the wing players, but I don't think so. Okay, next one. We have the Houston Rockets, who we are all over on. I mean, I think we have a rule here. Like, we have a pattern. Maybe we should just take the Rockets until the wheels fall off. I mean, they're 3-1 since I've been taking them recently. They had a bad beat with a Washington cover last week, but on the whole, I think they're a different basketball team. And I see that with the defensive metrics, Sands, James Harden in that rotation. That entire flow was beholden to Harden's ball dominance. And now they're able to play a little bit more sophisticated, have some more flow in their offense, actually make defensive switches. And these aren't defensive stalwarts. I mean, this is a lineup with Eric Gordon and Christian Wood and DeMarcus Cousins coming off every lower body injury at all. So this is a testament to the coaching. And James Harden left down because he didn't really want to be coached by this guy. He wanted to go play for a contender, but there's a lot to like in Houston there. And again, we have another point guard who is out. We have George Hill. He's been banged up. I don't think he'll play tonight, but we saw the Thunder, their rookie point guard came in. He did pretty well on Saturday, had a career high, but I like Houston here nonetheless. And it is hard to actually do deep dives into these teams, because I noticed I was doing some of the really weighty metrics yesterday. And I mean, I know Brooklyn gave up 150 points to Washington yesterday. I know the Nets are such an intriguing team, but they are so explicitly predicated on true shooting percentage that when I put them into a model, they're running the same models in Brooklyn. Like Mike D'Antoni, now that I'm actually studying this stuff, I see that the offense that dude has run for, 25 years now, 22. I'm old. I'm a little old, but it's basically predicated on the first rule of basketball statistics, which is there's a correlation between true shooting percentage and your probability of winning. So Nets, we can talk about that rotation until May. It's ultimately going to come around to whether or not they will make threes in a certain series. That's crazy. So yeah, I didn't mean to get off on that Nets tangent, but I did kind of notice the same thing with the Rockets team defensive metrics while I was trying to isolate the Nets true shooting percentage with James Harden. So that just explains a little bit to my journey right there. So those are my two picks today. I do have some leans there that I'm not going to explicitly pick, but I'm going to talk through the directions why I would back that team. In particular, everyone knows that I will be on the Suns under tonight. Everyone knows that I am bullish on the Phoenix Suns to emerge from that glutted middle in the Western Conference, but they're playing Dallas. There's so much money on Dallas, and I've been shorting Dallas every week, but it's kind of unreasonable to think they're going to lose every game against a Western foe. Isn't Dallas due to win one? So we see this line opened at -1. We see big movement getting it to -2.5. And for my metrics here, I see that the Mavericks are, they're getting a decent amount of the money. According to my stats, I see that they're on, 99% of the money according to the early splits coming in. So 43% of the bets, 99% of the money. I know it's a little early, but those are some crazy splits for Dallas. So I would lean that way. I think there's been a lot of value in San Antonio over the course of this season. Scroll down a little bit so we can see that one, Sammy. The Spurs, let's just take this with a grain of salt. While I was looking at the statistics for really grading out team efficiency, I noticed that the second most weighty stat, assist to turnover ratio, Spurs are first in the league in that metric, and -3 points against Memphis. I buy a half here. I back the Spurs because these teams are very familiar with each other. Ja Morant is playing unbelievable right now, but I kind of think that if the Spurs are winning these games and you're kind of wondering, how's that aging roster producing these wins, seeing 3 points against a younger team with a worse coach and rotation that isn't deep, I think there's value in Spurs -3. I also think that for the worst team in the NBA, it's crazy. Every single day, every single game, you see they put out the Pistons line and money just pours onto that line. You saw that the Pistons open up at 9.5-point dogs to the Warriors on Saturday, get bet down to 6.5. You saw the Pistons open as 10-point dogs to the Lakers last week, got bet down to 6.5. And again, we're seeing, stay down there, Sam, we're seeing them 9 o'clock at Nuggets. It opened at 9.5. And once again, third time in a row, money is pouring in on the Detroit Pistons. So the pattern's clear here. I've watched this team all over this season. I've watched the betting action, and it seems to me that the Pistons are Vegas's favorite team. So I think it could be good practice to just take that Pistons line when it opens. It seems like you'll get 2 points no matter what if you take the Pistons when they open. And I think there's actually an especially good deal of value in that tonight because Troy Weaver, he made some questionable decisions when he took office. He was maligned for signing Jeremy Grant and making Jeremy Grant the number one option in his offense. Well, Jeremy's playing great. We've talked about how he will be the most awkward all-star selection since Jamal McGlure. And you also have Mason, you have a Plumlee brother, and all these guys were in the rotation in Denver last year. So the altitude adjustment won't be that hard. Denver's playing a back-to-back, and there was a very high pace in that Nuggets game yesterday because that over was obliterated around like the midway through the third quarter. So West Side RSPS wants to know if I have any player props tonight. And just a quick note on the whale, DraftKings, 30% of the bets are on the Pistons, while 58% of the money. So back to the show. West Side RSPS wants to know if I have any player props. Well, depends on the game, my friend. I mean, just looking at the slate, I would probably be inclined to blindly take LaMelo, points plus rebounds plus assists, given that he will be having much more usage with Terry Rozier out, I believe. I think do we just want to like pick a game? I'll go through the player props. Let's pick a couple storylines. So let me know which one and we will go through it. Circling the calendar. I mean, Anthony Davis will probably go off against Clint Capella in Atlanta. I see tired legs all over in Minnesota, Cleveland, because I played last night. I probably like the overs across the board for the Sacramento Kings, just because their backcourt, Fox, Hield, quickly, and you know what? I think that's a hard matchup. So you want to make a parlay of 5 games. You don't mind which ones. So let's do Pistons spread. Let's do Bucks spread. I see let's do Bucks under, let's do Pels under, and let's do Hawks Lakers under. If I'm looking at the money differential tonight, I see the biggest differentials in number of bets and percentage of money are in that Blazers Bucks under, in that Hawks Lakers under, and there is the Mavs, but I'm not throwing that in a parlay. And yeah, I mean, my numbers love the unders tonight. My numbers suggest the Spurs Grizzlies under 221 looks great. It says the Spurs by themselves look great. It says the Kings and Pelicans look great. And it says the Lakers, Hawks, and Trailblazers Bucks unders look great. So if you're going to do a 5-way parlay, I think unders might be the way to go tonight. And just general parlay making rules are in effect with a little uncertainty, maybe buy a point or two on a couple of lines here and there just to smooth the transition along. You don't want to have these long parlays get graded out with a blip on the last leg. No worse feeling in gambling, no worse feeling in money management. And I just got off a finance pod where I talked to someone who cost themselves $1 million in GameStop this week, and I've felt worse about losing the last leg of a sweetheart parlay. So to each their own. My 260 is your $1 million. And yeah, it's a fun slate. It's not a great slate of games because we have some sloppy rest here. The the T-Wolves and the Cavs are a little bit of a sloppy one. So what kind of parlay would I make with the player props? Well, I can do that for you. Let's look at this. We know Devin Booker's out. Let's find the Mikal Bridges points over. I think that looks good because he's going to get more touches in that offense. Sam, will you pull up some player props for me so we can help out Westside RSPS? Give me a screen share so I can stay with him on this one. I'll see if I can get some other figures up on my Google Drive. Sorry, we are doing the work for you. We hang out here at the Props Network. That's why you smash subscribe. I'm not only a comedian, I'm not only a podcast host, but I do data analysis as the day job. So I'm always happy to pull something up for you. So player props. Do the player special, Sammy. Yeah, there you go. NBA player specials. It's right there. Sorry, West Side. I am working on it, trying to pull up the figures for my West Side friend. Okay. So Clint Capella, he's over 13.5 points. I think that is pretty solid right there. Zach LaVine, over 25.5 points. Hasn't he been the hottest player in the league the past month? And maybe Drummond over 32.5 points and rebounds. Those seem like good foundation pieces. So I think you kind of want to feast on the big men here. I think Capella minus 13.5. And like with the full complement of the Hawks rotation out there, he's actually been utilized and playing to the maximum of his abilities in that offense. So I'm going to make Clint Capella over 13.5 the baseline of any parlay that I have with player props tonight. This is a Rocket special you're showing me. And additionally, in that other game with the Capella's in which game? Capella's in Hawks Lakers right there. So I do like that Hawks Lakers under, but just having a lob threat in that offense and the over under figure is a little low. I mean, he'll probably have at least 3 easy looks off dribble penetration, especially with a healthy Bogdanovich and Rondo in that lineup. And just looking around the player props, we see, Capella's over 13.5. We see, maybe we want to go. Can you go to assists there, please, Sam? Okay, so that LeBron 7.5 assists, that is below his season average, and there is a little bit of juice there, but 9 times out of 10, he does get those 8 assists. So I like that as well. And then let's go through rebounds. See if there's anything we like on the rebounds tab there. Yeah, how about the under on Capella? 13.5 boards. Over points, under rebounds. He's not Andre Drummond. He's a little bit shorter than Anthony Davis. You got Herro bodying him for the boards. So 13.5. I kind of like that money there. So yeah, that's my 5-way parlay. Capella over points, Capella under rebounds, LeBron over assists, Drummond over points plus rebounds, and what was my last leg? LaVine over points, 25.5. Again, LaVine over points, Drummond over points and rebounds, and then we have Capella under rebounds, Capella over points, and LeBron over assists in the Lakers-Hawks game. So if you're around, smash that subscribe. If not, I will open up the floor to take any questions, comments, concerns, actionable suggestions. I don't know. We're lonely here. You know, my wife's out of town, stuck in the snow. So chat up, the big fella. And I'd like to take this time to talk about the Joel Wachowski rule. I'm an avid basketball player, and you got to dress fresh on the court. I like to wear a jersey, but I do have the rule. I can only wear a jersey of, a player whose playing style I can do justice. I can wear Julius Randle, Andre Drummond, Draymond Green. That's it. I got a Kevin Durant, but I will never wear it on the court. You can't make a parlay like that. It will make it singles. I mean, I'm a pragmatist. I go pretty chill. I'm not one of these people who throws it out for a big yield. I am a traditional buy and hold investor in my DNA. So I look for value. I'm not opposed to doing the minus 300 money line parlay every then and there. So we might just have different underlying philosophies on our portfolio management, my friend Westside. Is that fair? We got different investing strategies? Because I'm probably going to do like 7 $30 bets tonight. And one of them will be on The Bachelor, but that's a different conversation. And you know what? I'm hoping to go 5-2 because over the course of the year, if I go 4-3, 5-2 enough of the times, I'm in a good position. And my yearly record is 41-27. What's the Bachelor bet? Come on, what's the Bachelor bet? I'm in a pool with my fiance. I'm betting on Victoria to go home tonight. The queen is no more. She's obviously been a plant on the show by the producers, and I expect that to take hold tonight. She's busted. She got those butthole eyes, and you can see that if she wasn't on this show, if she wasn't locked up filming this Bachelor, I think she would have been storming the Capitol a couple weeks ago. Oh no! I went all through the episode. That was the Bachelor thing. That was a Bachelor thing. That's not a politics thing, Sam. I'm always getting in trouble here, but we're always having fun here at the Props Network. So I think I'm going to do it where my days off are on Tuesdays. And so that being said, I will be back Wednesday afternoon at 2:00, and I will be back Thursday at 2:00. I will be back Saturday at 2:00. I will be back Sunday, probably a little early because we got a Super Bowl going on, and we got an early slate of NBA games. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys enjoyed the video, I will be watching the games today. So hit me up on this YouTube for discussions during it. If you do want me to hop on again during the games today, just because I am bored and lonely, feel free to reach out to the Props Network, or you can tag me on Twitter, the Wachowski, or Joe Wachowski on Instagram, just to chat a little hoops. I deeply care about this subject. I will probably quote Kevin Durant in my wedding vows, and I will be buried with a Moses Malone card in my pocket. So we're not talking hoops. I'm talking my religion with you guys. And you know what? When we look at those betting lines, that's our way for us real hoop heads to pass along the collection plate. All right. Let's make some Skrilla. Let's have some fun and let's enjoy these games tonight. We like the Heat. We like the Rockets. We like a bunch of unders. Until next time, for the Props Network, this is Joel Walkowski walking